average are your girls aged between 11 and 13 to 14. So if I was selling 100 cricket bats in 3/4 size, I would be thinking I'm selling to young teenagers, and it's only getting popular with a small amount of adults. Yeah? And you can apply that methodology to shoes or jumpers or whichever, you know, because it tells you the size of what you're selling unless you've got an outlier. Do you all know what an outlier is? Outside of the norm, yeah, absolutely. So these trends can tell you an awful lot of information. Obviously, you've got ethical and legal considerations. What ethical and legal considerations do you need to have? You need a conclusion, you need to keep your slides visually appealing, use graphs, dashboards, infographics, limit text, and use bullet points. These slides are available for you on Blackboard, by the way.
Okay, this one.
Creating effective visuals, use charts and graphs for trends and comparisons, dashboards for summarising complex data, infographics to simplify key insights, ensure clarity and avoid clutter. Okay? This is good practice now, because as we move forward into level 6 and things, you're going to be doing more presentations, and certainly when you get in the business world, I can tell you this, I do not like public speaking. I find it horrific. I don't enjoy doing it. If I have to go and do a presentation anywhere, I really get stressed about it. It's a good skill to have to be able to do a presentation, because more and more now in the business world, they want people to be able to stand in front of a boardroom full of people and present. So don't think that this is not a skill that you won't need when you leave uni. Unless you go and work at the checkout in Tesco, then you're highly unlikely to do an awful lot of boardroom presentations. Or in a bakery, or like anything like that, you're probably not going to. But with you guys all leaving with degrees, I would assume you're going to go into jobs which might require presentations. Ensure clarity and avoid clutter. Okay, addressing ethical and legal, data privacy laws, GDPR, etc., transparency in data sources, social, economic and ethical concerns. Include a brief reflection on these points in your presentation. So did you have any social and economic concerns? So for example, if you were to work for BMW and you were to get a 7 Series BMW and question 100 people at random as they were leaving, say, Aldi, there might be less people that say they have the ability to pay for that car. Whereas let's just be a little bit assumptive and assume that people coming out of Fortnum and Mason, which is the royal family's grocer, they might be able to afford to buy a 7 Series BMW. Whereas something like a sort of more generic, I don't know, Ford Mondeo, you're probably going to get more takers coming out of Aldi. I'm being quite assumptive there, so excuse the assumption. I'm just trying to sort of give you ideas on social, economic and ethical concerns. So I've given you a couple of examples here, and you can really see these are lovely. They really show some trends, and you know, you can see, I love these ones.
This one, I don't even understand it.
So you've got 4 different
I understand
things, 4
the other
different
one.
years, and it shows you throughout the year how things are peaking and troughing. So if you look here, you can see January, February, March, April, all the way through to, that's year 2001, that's year 2004, and then we've got more years here. And you can see the different colours, and you can see it really tells a brilliant story. And you've got here very similar, you've got 4 different aspects, and then you've got all of the different categories down at the bottom, and they tell fantastic stories, and they're so much more informative, sorry, I can't get my words out, informative when they're like that than just a very static pie chart. Does that make sense?
Why did you use the word informative than information? Informative information.
That is information that is informative.
Okay.
Okay. So, do you see what I mean though? You can really get a story
and information
from the different categories and what the values are. It's really telling a huge story.
Okay.
Whereas the pie
Predictive.
chart really doesn't tell us anything. So I would expect to be seeing scatter graphs, line charts, bar charts, etc., because they tell lots of great stories. Obviously, when you've got them on the board, I want you to put some context to those stories. So in 2010, ladies cricket wasn't very popular, and you can see over the years it's got more and more and more popular, and now it's a fastest. So you should see a very slow incline, and then as we've got more recent after the Olympics, it's spiked up here like that. And you can see the same with tennis. Tennis is like, tennis rackets sell like this: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, because July is when Wimbledon happens. And you can see the same with most sports. You know, when football happens, which is what, September? That's when you really see a lot of increase. And actually, when women, the women's football team, didn't they win something at some point?
Yeah, they win. England won.
Unlike the women's team brought football home. And so women's football, straight after they brought it home, because women can do that. Sorry.
But England women, they are doing well now.
But after the women's team brought football home, women's football went like that. And even at a grassroots level. So if you were to do data analytics on women's football, for example, you can really see some huge trends based on massive events. And it's usually things like the World Cup or the Olympics, etc., etc. So, or a film, even a film can influence trends, because we are all very influenced by all of these big iconic things. You know, I wonder, and I'm speculating, how much has boxing gone up courtesy of the recent Mike Tyson sort of fight and things like that? And what was his name? Fury. Jake Paul, yeah, versus Tyson. I so had my money on Tyson to win.
The age of man though,
I know, but I think everybody my age wanted Tyson to win. But I would imagine after a big event like that, which was a world stage, you would have seen boxing probably jump up. And you know, when I was growing up, I mean, I was born at the same time as the Rocky movies. I was born in 1973, and the Rocky movies first started in 76.
73.
So I was very young, but boxing, every time a Rocky movie came out, boxing went up.
My last sister senior you.
So it's important to follow the trends, but it's also really important to represent them well. Okay? So do think about what influences these trends, because it is really interesting watching it, and more so now. And you can relate some trends to things like Netflix. You know, Yellowstone has had a huge impact on the whole world. Like it or not, its popularity is substantial.
What, the movie?
Yellowstone, the series.
Yellowstone.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it like from America? You like?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been hugely popular. And I would imagine, I haven't looked into it, but anyone's welcome to, horse riding has probably gone up as a result of it. Sale of horses. I'm from Doncaster, home of St Ledger. Bloodstock sales will have gone up because of the popularity of some of these TV shows. They can have massive influences. In the same way you mentioned Pestle earlier, political influence. You know, we've seen a rise in millionaires leaving the country as a result of the budget. We've seen a reduction in some various levels of spending because of the budget. When the budget goes well, spending goes up. When the budget goes down, spending goes down. Interest rates only yesterday went down 0.25%. How do you think that will have affected trends? I mean, it's not going to have a huge impact, but people have got a little bit more money in their pocket as a result. You know, when the interest rates went down to 0.025, people had far more money in their pockets, so it impacted retailers. And these are the trends you're looking for and to understand. I'm not trying to teach you to be an economist, because Lord knows I don't know how to be an economist. We just need to understand how to read data.
That, yeah.
Okay? So I'm not trying to teach you to be an economist, I'm just sort of trying to explain some of the things that influence these trends. It is an amazingly interesting subject. I'll get very excited about it.
There's something I want to ask, like this, well, it's not part of what you are teaching anyway, like Uber.
Uber.
Yeah, is it not data they use? Who gave them all that data? Is it government that sold it to them before?
What, Uber?
Yeah.
I very much doubt that the government would have sold Uber data.
How did they get to work out the satellite and everything? Find, you know, it's true.
Well, we all have location devices on our phones.
Yeah, it's all location tracked.
But
There's no data within Uber that gets sold because it's not like they can't really sell it because you're dropping and picking people up. So
Yeah.
it's a privacy thing.
Yeah.
It's ICO. So like you can't, if they were to sell it, then every Uber driver.
No, what I'm
would drop.
saying before.
you raise an interesting point there when you mention the ICO, because the ICO has no jurisdiction in, for example, America. So they only have jurisdiction here in the UK.
There's Uber. Well, it's hard. It's hard
Yeah.
though, isn't it?
It's
Uber,
a really complex one.
Uber is everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
Uber. There was Uber.
But don't forget, Uber has a lot of subsidiaries, doesn't it? It's got Uber
Yeah.
Eats, Uber, the original bit, yeah, and they will sell information to each other.
That is what I'm saying, because when they did that app, if government did not permit them to use our
If
data.
you've been on, for example, Uber Eats,
Mhm.
you will probably find in your news feeds other aspects of Uber. But also don't forget people like Netflix, etc. will sell your information to the likes of Uber so that, or guarantee that Uber will come up in your news feed. Facebook will certainly do
It's
it, the
like-
meta industry as well.
Yeah, that's
When
what
you
I'm
put
saying,
Netflix
because
on the TV, you can use an account. Let's say your account. It's, you're watching a movie, so it's,
Yeah.
oh, we'll order popcorn for you. Eat just eat all
Yeah.
Uber Eats.
Yeah, and it's getting more and more advanced, but we're not going to wander into marketing because it's too tempting and we'll be here till tomorrow. Okay, so this is just another
do you
example.
understand marketing?
Yeah, my MSc is in marketing. One of my
Okay.
MScs. This is just another example of really well done visuals. And you can see the stories here. And you can definitely see this is a lovely one because you can really see those peaks and troughs. This isn't so much of a pie chart as it's a layered pie chart, so it's got a little bit more information, but there's no way anybody can tell me that this down here is as interesting and engaging to look at as these. So it's just really these slides are just to give you an idea of the kind of infographics we should be seeing on your slides.
Done. Is this one on our slide?
Yes, you've got access to these slides.
Okay. This one, I love it so much because of the colors.
Right, okay,
Oh,
so
it's on the slide.
I just want to talk about Porter's 5 forces because you should be able to, if you're going to talk about competitor analysis, you should be able to use a Porter's.
Porters 5. Porter 5.
I'm just going to bring this up here.
You want to go?
Who wants to go? We're about to talk about Porter's 5 forces.
Don't go
There's
anywhere.
nothing
We're
more
doing this.
exciting.
What are you going home to do? To sleep?
There is nothing more exciting than Porter's 5 forces and pestle analysis. Okay, so this is a competitor analysis. This is really about understanding your competitors. Okay, so if you're Walmart, Asda. If you're Asda, who are your obvious competitors?
Lidl.
Sainsbury's, possibly Lidl, Tesco, Morrison's, Aldi. At the top end, maybe Waitrose and Marks and Spencer's, but you get the idea. So
That is
if you're a
important.
large supermarket, like for example Walmart, we've got up here threat of new entrants. How worried are we about a new supermarket coming to the market and stealing all your customers? Nobody's really going to be that worried about the threat of new entrants, are they? But let me walk you back by about 12, 15 years.
Netto. They will be worried.
Hang on. When Tesco's and Asda and Morrison's and Sainsbury's were all sitting pretty thinking, we're the big four, and nobody is going to come and take any of our territory. And Aldi pops up. Aldi has really taken a massive amount of their their customer base. Because number one, they sell good products, they're German, anything German.
And they are very cheap.
And that they are cheap, but they're not very cheap now. They're cheap enough, but they're not cheap. But 15 years ago, Asda and Tesco's and Sainsbury's and Morrison's were not at all afraid of new entrants. And then Aldi came along, and suddenly they'd been sat on their hands for so long, and all of a sudden they had something to be worried about. You should always be prepared for the threat of new entrants. And this is what Porter's 5 Forces is. It makes you think about your competitor analysis.
Okay. What's a 5?
Bargaining power of buyers. So, for example, if you're a large Asda and you monopolise a town, and we've seen it again and again in America where Walmart go out in, they close every other business down, and then they monopolise 100% of the market. Their buyers have very, very little bargaining power. But if you're in a town like where I live, and you've got a Tesco's, an Aldi, just up the road you've got a big Asda, you've got a Waitrose, you've got a Marks and Spencer's the other side of town, your buyers have a lot of power. What does that mean? What does it mean if you're surrounded by lots and lots of other organisations the same as you? What have you got to do?
You have to bring down your prices.
Yeah, but nobody wins a price war. What else have you got to do?
Bring quality goods.
Good quality goods. You've got to figure out what the customer and the demographic wants and supply that. So it's no point having a race to the bottom in price. Your Waitrose customers don't care about price. They care about quality, and you've mentioned quality.
Yeah.
So we have to think, what do our customers want? Because they've got all the power. But if you're a lone supermarket for 20 miles, you've got all the power.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's worth always thinking about Porter's 5 Forces, because look, threat of new entrants, barriers to entry. What are the barriers to entry for another supermarket? Well, the cost of land, the cost of filling up a supermarket, blah, blah, blah.
And staff paying their employee.
And staff, yeah, absolutely. Brand loyalty. Most people, do you guys use the same supermarket all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Morrison is quite
Brand
cheap.
loyalty, a lot of the time it's because of location. In my case, it's because of the car park, because I'm really bad at parking. So I go to a supermarket with a big car park. I'm so bad at parking. So everybody has their own requirements, okay? And a lot of people will choose a supermarket based on location. Some will choose it based on product. Some will choose it for a whole plethora of reasons. Bargaining power of buyers, and it really is. It can be to do with price sensitivity. It can be to do with the size of the customer order. Some people, like for example, do you know the sale of good quality toilet roll goes up in December?
I can't believe it. Even Waitrose, we normally buy their tissue.
Yeah.
They reduced 2 out of 14. They gave us only 2. And I tell my daughter, watch, in the next 3 months, they will make it 10. You know?
Yeah, but the facts are, buyers have bargaining power. Threat of substitutions. Well, we've seen that with Ocado and online sales. And, you know, I was listening to someone talk about how they get all sorts delivered direct from Amazon. Are you about to leave?
No, let's ask Jackie something before you go. Jackie, because we are doing NHS, should we focus, because I have focused on Whittington Hospital.
Yeah.
But he was saying, should we do like 2 hospitals? I said, no, I don't know.
It's up to you. It depends what you want to look for.
I was thinking in general in the UK.
But what
it's
aspect
big, oh.
of the data are you looking at?
We are using secondary data.
Yeah, that's fine, but what are you analysing?
We're analysing about corridor bed.
You're analysing about corridor beds, and have you been able to find good information on that?
I have found my own information already, but I want him to come up with something.
Okay, so if you're going to use 2 hospitals, what you might want to do is show trends in one versus another and be able to explain why. So, for example, if I look at 2 of my local hospitals, I've got Bury St Edmunds, which is West Suffolk, or Colchester. Colchester's much bigger, it's got a more diverse population, you get seen faster, but it's not as nice. because it's busy and it's hurried and it's not as clean, whereas Bury St Edmunds has a smaller population but it's slower, but it's nicer because they have the time to clean it properly, etc., etc. So it just depends. We are really at a price versus product at that point.
If I was you, hospital-wise around this area, do Stoke Mandeville.
Huh?
Stoke Mandeville's got a lot of very interesting data at the moment.
That's what my mum, my brother.
No, we are doing Whittington.
It's the worst. I could say for your subject, hospital, like anything called beds. That is the worst hospital.
Do you want to know
best.
something? I have on my apprenticeship courses some people that actually work for Stoke Mandeville, and they say they won't go there. They actually will go over to Oxford.
Excuse me, Jackie,
Yes.
because I know about Whittington, I'm sticking to Whittington. When you say two, it will be very confusing because how are we going to...
Don't forget you can use the graphs that show more than one thing, can't you?
Okay.
So you could look for trends. You could even use 3 and look for trends if you wanted. Yeah, if you think about that.
Say, let us listen to this. I don't know where you are running to. There is bus till 7 o'clock.
I think it'll take me an hour to get home.
Pardon?
It'll take me an hour.
So if you look at this, you could actually have trends, and you could have a different colour for 3 or 4 different hospitals.
Okay, we do.
If you wanted to do it that way.
Okay.
Yeah? Does that make sense?
100%.
Yeah? Are you happy with that? But if you want to talk, me and Matilda, talk to us. We'll help you. Yeah? But this is why these kind of graphs are so informative, because they can allow you to look at 3 or 4 different things and compare. So you've already talked about Stoke Mandeville. You've talked
Okay,
about...
there's something I want to say in this group work now. Because I don't understand the way they do their group work. You can't get hold of them. And I'm like a visual learner. I need to practice, you know. And when I'm sending message, it's not there. I don't understand how this thing will be joined. You know?
So you guys have got to work together.
Yeah, we are working together.
I didn't see any message from...
Right, so maybe use your student emails then.
Look at you are running now.
No.
There is 7 o'clock bus.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to get the 7 o'clock bus. You can't.
How can we work together when one person really...
Well, we have
I'll just
lots
have
and
to
lots
do
of...
I'll do my own work and I'll just send it to her.
Right, so
Okay, so-
he's going to go away and do some and send it to you, and you can merge.
I've done my own already. I'm just holding on to see what they can.
You're going for the bus as well.
No, not for the bus.
Go
All of
back.
it. Okay.
Has everything I've said today made sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're happy with that?
The something you said about...
But on Blackboard, like, for the eye.
I
Did
see
you
it.
know what he said
Yeah,
about
and the slides on Blackboard as well.
method of the data?
Yeah,
How-
I'll speak to you.
You are tired. Are you all right? You
Come,
look
come,
really
say hello now. Let me be sure.
I'm okay.
No, I'm sure.
Look
I'll
like
send
you
you a
wanna go to
message.
sleep.
I don't know where you are running to, young people. Like,
No, I'll be
you are but
Take care. See you.
but are you people going to library?
No.
These young people
They're
are,
young men. It's Friday. They're not going anywhere near a library.
they are like my children. As soon as they finish eating jollof rice, they will run. All of them zoom out. Are you turning off?
Do any more, or are you done?
Please do.
To be honest, I
I've
think
just got a couple of questions more about our specific project.
Okay. Well, let's ask some questions then.
So we're doing Spotify.
Okay, that's a good company because it's got lots of data.
Yeah. With what we've done so far, it's not really been numbers data other than like the amount of subscribers they've actually got.
Okay.
So if I say to Lana and we do like 3 other music companies
Okay.
and do like that one
Yeah.
where you compare the trends, will that work?
Yeah, that would work lovely. Or you could even do,
Because we're
it's,
doing
it's basic, but you could do how many new subscribers they've had every year for 5 years and look at the influences and the trends on why that's gone up, why it's gone down. Definitely, if you're going to do something like that, think about competitor analysis. If it's had a dip, why that dip? Did a new company start, for example, Apple Music, blah, blah, blah. And that would be more than sufficient and very simple to do.
actually, yeah.
So we don't have to overcomplicate it. We don't have to have like loads of data.
No, I just want you to be able to analyse it and tell me about the trends. But if you're going to do something like that, I need to see a Porter's 5 forces so that you can...
I'm doing that. I've got the
It's
customer
because-
behaviour done as well. So.
In that first lesson, it just seemed like it was so complicated. You know the one I was telling you about with Matilda? It just seemed way
She is a
complicated.
data expert.
Yeah, I
She
gathered.
really is. She looks at all the data.
Yeah.
I mean, when I talk about data, because my background is very heavy in marketing,
Yeah.
I tend to look at it very through the lens of a marketeer. Matilda's an absolute marketing data genius. She is exceptionally good at data. I'm very, very good at marketing data.
But you could have allowed her to teach us. There's something she was teaching us about brain.
Yeah.
Brain. I really enjoyed that one, you know.
She's
but
really, really good.
you withdraw, you say, no, don't teach them brain again.
Why? Why would I say that?
That's what he told us. He could not go on. He said, Jackie doesn't want me to teach you this.
I don't want her to teach you things that is going to get you to a point that you can't actually deliver your presentation, because she's very advanced. She's really, really clever. She's very
That's
good.
kind of why I thought it was really overcomplicated when actually what you said doesn't seem as much.
It's
So
not.
it makes more sense.
Yeah.
When you've said it.
Yeah.
And then I also was going to ask you about what do I need to give you for the disability thing? For like,
Have you got an e-sticker?
Yes.
I just send that through.
What, just to you?
Yeah, just send it to me.
Yeah.
Okay, have you answered all my questions? I will send it again to email.
I think we've covered all of your questions. We've
Okay,
covered them all today.
there's something I'm seeing on this chart. Let's say we just drop chart, say this hospital have this hospital have this. But on our main slide, we are talking about Whittington. Is it going to work out?
If that's how you want to present it, because we've just used the example of Spotify, and I've said, well, just look at new customers every year for 5 years, and then consider why it's gone up, why it's gone down, what the influences have been, etc.
Okay.
And
It's because you joined two of us together. I've done my.
but it's a group presentation.
Okay,
And
whatever.
one day you're going to go into the workplace and have to work with other people.
I'm working for myself. I'm working for Determined Mom. I got Adidas. I've got 4 people that wants me to work with them. But I said, I don't want distraction. Allow me to finish. You know, even they are sending me letter. When are you ready? Adidas want me to market Africa for them. Elderly women, you know.
I feel like NHS hospital beds are such a.
It's quite niche.
Is
It
it?
is, it's very niche.
It's very. I would say definitely. Obviously, I know you've done a lot of work. I'd definitely have a look at something else though, as a backup just in
You
case.
could do like the waiting times. or
Waiting
something.
times is a really
Yeah,
good
that's a
one.
really good idea.
Okay, the waiting time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause-
don't just look at the beds because you've tunneled yourself really early. Whereas if you look at like waiting times in the hospitals,
And
Oh,
there's so
waiting
good-
time
yeah,
for.
that is a very good idea. There's a lot of good data
Yeah.
on waiting times, and then the data on waiting times is at government level, and there you can really spot trends. So waiting times will have gone up during COVID. Waiting times go up during flu season.
I think you'll be able
Something
to
like
talk
that is
about
a
it
very
easier.
exceptionally good idea. Yeah, I would take that.
Okay,
Because
so
it's a really
Because
good
I
idea.
don't think you'll be too far in now to change it, but you'll get a lot more out of it if
Mm.
you change.
I think you feel better after today. I feel
Yeah,
like
I
you're
do.
happier after today.
I
That's
do.
good. I'm
Before-
really pleased about that.
Before I really like
That's unnormal.
shot myself in the foot because I was like I said to Jake, I was like, I don't know how I feel about data analytics because it's not my strongest suit. But after like, a couple of lessons with you, that it's
yeah, you see why we have confused. You know when you taught us data in level 4, I was so happy when I saw you. But splitting the class into 2 is very confusing.
It is, and there's nothing I can do about it. I just turn
You
up.
are the one teaching us. You will say the children are not. We are confused. When we come to you, we listen and we
I
go
think
to.
it's because we've never had. Well, we've had more than one module lead, but it's always been together.
Yeah.
So with Helen, we've only got her for one module.
Which is
with
good.
Suzanne, it's only her for that module.
Yeah.
And then with this, it's 2.
Yeah.
Believe me honest, I'm
I
still.
mean, I have to say you are lucky to have Matilda because she
Yeah.
is very, very, very.
We know
very-
Matilda is very good, but if they put it in what like Helen, you know, like you are teaching us in the same spot, because when we go there, this one is saying this. You come here, like everything I gathered here today.
She's got all the information on the assignment, so she knows what you've got to do for the assignment. She's just teaching you more advanced stuff. I'm here to simplify it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like your way.
That's
Anyway, the only teacher I have is this recording because when I go home now, I will play it before I simulate.
I'm so sorry you're going to be listening.
Excuse
to
me,
it on Friday.
there's something I want to say. There's something you said today, it makes me to go back. I was in the library, they took away my this thing, you know, because maybe I fall asleep. Somebody came to take my file. So should I report it? I don't know what they want to do, but I just asked my sister. My sister said, what will they do with your file? You know?
Yeah, I would report that. Go and report it in the library, maybe.
No, because when I'm tired, I'm like this. Maybe when I slept up, somebody came and take it. I was saying, what did they want to do with it? But because of what you said about data, carelessness, you know, as Jackie is making, let me go and tell these people in
But it
case
depends on what's on there. If it's just your assignments, nobody's running to...
my all this thing I record, I put it. How about if they carry the thing and go and put a lecturer outside there and they'll come and put blame on me? I only put my file.
I promise you, nobody's in a hurry to listen to me talk about data analytics.
I
I can't even
also,
get you lot to get in the classroom. Though.
I have my
Have you got a piece of paper,
actual
Lizzie?
assessment, like my needs assessment.
yeah.
I can borrow. I'll write this down for you.
Okay, thank you, my darling.
It's called the BMA.org.
Hold on, hold
I
on,
think that's
hold
the
on.
final
Let
assessment.
me.
It might
Right,
be that you
please.
just get extra time.
Anything that will make me
Yeah.
to understand all this thing.
So all of this here, sorry, I've cracked my phone, so my phone.
Oh.
But
Oh,
it's
right,
all,
okay.
Oh, you can
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
find me on WhatsApp and send it to me.
Yeah.
Let me take permission from your girlfriend. You know,
Is that
women.
Yeah.
not today?
Yeah.
but it's fine. Literally, I'm not joking
Good.
to you.
I
Just
mean-
type in this.
I think you guys do need to consider that you are lucky to have Matilda because she is really...
No, we didn't say that she's not good. She's good, but
And I'm just here to simplify it and bring it down a notch or two because I'm very, very good at marketing data.
you taught us data analysis
Yes.
last time,
I did, a long, long time
and I
ago.
really learned a lot. Even when I saw you, I was happy to see you that day.
She's not happy anymore.
No, because one thing.
Soon put an end to
There you
that.
go.
Okay,
That's
thank
the
you.
website. Have a look on there.
Okay,
We'll have-
Jackie. One thing I don't. When I went back to your.
See you next week.
See you next
When I
week.
went back to your slide, you see somebody dropped something there. Is
No,
it still
it's
there?
fine, it's fine.
Okay. When I went back to your slide, they removed it. I said, oh, and I want to.
Yeah,
Anyway,
they do take things down.
okay, let me go home. At least I've got a lot of information with this.
Yeah, and I think she had a really good idea about using...
Nobody is criticizing her, but the only thing is splitting the class into two. If that you were doing this start with Kansha last time,
Yeah.
we didn't find it
I
confusing.
can't help it. I have no power over timetables, I'm afraid. No power over timetables.
Okay.
But, I mean, okay, so yeah, it is a little bit harder, but the thing is, and the facts are, you've got an excellent data analytics teacher from Matilda, and I'm not an idiot either, so...
Okay, well, let me go home. I've got all the information I want. You know, just because my children, they are first class students, everything I give them, they don't, who put this? They will say, go back to your lecturer and ask, we don't understand what you are talking about. You know? Oh my God, let me go. I think I've missed the bus already. That's what he's running for. Bus.